A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Hey, welcome everybody. This is Cut the Chit Chat. I'm Jake Moss.
And I'm Nathan Levante.
And this is still the podcast on the filmographies of Nicolas Cage.
Still running.
Apparently.
No one's canceled us yet.
Not yet, but listen, the way everyone's been on canceling.
Oh, man.
It could. I really hope it doesn't
This
happen.
is going to be the one that puts us over the edge.
We're still here getting wet in the deep waters of one of the most criticized careers in Hollywood. All to answer the question.
Why is Nicolas Cage?
Did we ever address the fact that like he's criticized, but not in the way most actors are criticized in today's day and age?
Do you mean, have we talked about how Nick Cage is not technically problematic yet?
Yeah. Don't put that yet in. That's so worrisome.
Nick Cage is the opposite of problematic. He's solution-matic.
Well, I don't know if people would agree with that either.
He's giving us a solution to a boring Monday afternoon.
Yeah, fair enough, actually. It's Monday when we're recording this, and it's raining outside. And frankly, I wouldn't be getting a tan if I was outside anyways. At this stage in my life, that's the only reason I'd be going outdoors is to get some vitamin D.
At this point,
is it vitamin E or vitamin D?
D. D is the one that gives your skin the good
I
glow.
wanted to make sure I wasn't just making a double entendre, that there was some actual scientific evidence.
I had a feeling that you wanted to make a D joke. This has become less and less of a joke as time has gone by, but my recurring bit has been every time I go outside, I have to bring like a parasol with me. Otherwise I get burnt very badly, no matter how good the weather is. So
why the fuck would you call it a parasol? Who are you? Hey guys, welcome to this podcast that we're apparently recording in the 18th century.
An umbrella is something you use to shield yourself from the rain.
I just invented this thing called a record player, and I guess by transitive property, it's also a recorder. I'm going to put the needle on this piece of plastic, and we're going to record you talking about parasols and getting sunburned on your wet ass skin.
Do you mind if I school you for a very quick second based on Google? According to Google, the main difference between a parasol and an umbrella is its size and purpose. So parasols, don't interrupt me. Parasols are smaller and lighter than umbrellas and are used only to shade people from the sun.
This is hell.
This is actual hell. And
literal hell.
You know the only thing you can find in this kind of hell?
National treasure.
A national treasure. We're digging into the Constitution today.
Oh, man.
We're looking at the Declaration of Independence.
There's so much history here.
There is so much history that we need to talk about because national treasure was the basis for my grade 8 history class.
That would be a really awesome grade 8 history class.
It would be. But mind you, once again, we're Canadians. My grade 8 history class was
Why do you say that like it's a flex? Like everyone has a country of origin and you're just out here like, I'm Canadian.
Because I feel like in this day and age, being Canadian is kind of a gift in a way.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Not a good gift necessarily.
You disgust me.
It's not necessarily a good gift. It can be a bad gift.
You disgust me.
Me too. I disgust myself. But my grade 8 history class was all like, oh, Samuel de Champlain did this, and George A.
You got it.
John A. MacDonald.
Give it another shot.
John A. MacDonald was the prime minister.
Two of those, you've just mentioned two names. Neither of those names are actually in National Treasure.
That's right, because National Treasure is not my treasure. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to all the Americans.
Why did you watch National Treasure in grade 8 history?
I did not. That was a joke.
So you lied.
I lied. Okay, this is something I texted you a few days ago. There is no truth in podcasting.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'd like to welcome Werner Herzog to the podcast.
Podcast is the means by which we communicate with each other on the interweb these days. And just as there is no truth in podcasting, there is an exquisite, ecstatic truth hidden within the pages of the National Treasure.
There you go.
That was actually pretty good, Werner. Mine always comes out like a campy gay German man, and that's the only German accent I can do.
like the character in The Producers.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so we're talking about National Treasure. We're still talking about Nicolas Cage, but
We are.
through the lens of National Treasure.
And this is the big one. This is, if you're going fishing, this is the big fish. Let's just dig into some numbers real fast because I love me some good numbers.
Tell me the numbers. I don't give a shit.
So National Treasure was made on a budget of $100 million.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, especially for a movie that is not a franchise. This was made in 2004. Came out 2004. It had been in production for several years, just trying to get a script together. So anyway, $100 million budget. It made 173 domestic total, which was about 50% of the total gross, 347 million, which today that's kind of unheard of for a movie to do that well, and it's called National Treasure.
Well, and so that's the whole other factor to those numbers is the fact that this is a nerdy film.
This is a really nerdy movie.
It's a trivia movie.
It basically is. This
is a fucking crazy film movie, and Nicolas Cage is playing a crazy dude. The fact that he's starring as the nerd of this film, but it's a history buff's wet dream, and the fact that it grosses so high blows my mind.
But it landed toward the end of November, the November 19th to 21st weekend. So it played really well because that was kind of the fall time. It just the weekend before Thanksgiving. So that's why it dropped so low, I would think. And then
I'm sure teachers were telling their students, go see this in
go check
in
it
the
out.
Theater.
And then it played through Christmas, so it got an added bump in the Christmas season.
Yeah, it was a family film.
Yeah, which is
it was promoted, advertised heavily as a family film.
Absolutely.
Of the very limited interview content for National Treasure 1, that is the majority of what everyone says is, hey, this is a family film. It's entertaining.
Hey
go
guys,
see it.
This one's rated PG. This is for the waspy Republican parents who want to bring their kids to a fun movie, but don't
Can
want...
I say nationalists?
This movie is called Nationalist Treasure. And it's about people fighting for their rights in the States.
It's about freedom of speech, and it's about freedom to steal the Declaration of Independence and be absolved of your crimes because you did the right thing.
Because you did the right
stealing
thing.
From Sean Bean.
The only reason that Nicolas Cage doesn't get arrested is because Harvey Keitel is another conspiracy theorist.
Can I say something real quick?
No.
Sean Bean's in this movie.
You are absolutely right. Sean
Bean's in this fucking movie.
Sean Bean.
This is
one
post
day.
Lord of the Rings.
It is. It's right after the trilogy ends.
Sean Bean is a big guy.
He's a pretty big guy.
He's, everyone knows him for his dying.
He's
fantastic.
I don't know if he was known for death back then, but that's definitely kind of become his thing. Like,
okay. Well, but if Sean Bean's in this movie and he's fantastic. He and Nicolas Cage kind of have that the straight man and the crazy guy energy going.
it's kind of a bromance.
Yeah. It's a bromance. I kind of love him. He's really endearing. The whole time I just think, like, honestly, you're a really good manager. You've got a team of people you're working with.
Oh no.
And I kind of fuck with him, Like if I saw him on the street, and I'm assuming he's out of prison or something, so he might have some extra tattoos. I might not recognize him immediately, but I'd be like, yo,
Did Sean Bean go to prison?
do you want to grab a coffee real quick? I kind of want a coffee. I want to sit down and talk with you a little bit.
Do you think he would go to coffee with you? Oh, he did go to jail.
Sean Bean?
Yeah.
I was talking about the character. Holy shit.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm just coming up with this hot new news from 2008, 26th of July. Sean Bean spent night in jail over alleged assault on new wife. He spent 6 hours in a police cell after being arrested.
Damn.
Yeah, so there you go. Canceled. I'm sorry, Sean Bean's not a good manager.
I never said Sean Bean was a good manager. I said he's a good manager in National Treasure.
Yes, his character Ian Howe.
You know what I want to talk about real quick? I want to
National Treasure.
I want to before we get into the production team
Yeah.
on this movie, I want to talk a little bit about the team that works behind the scenes in Walt Disney.
Okay.
As we all know, those are the Freemasons.
Those are the Freemasons. Disney has a secret society of people.
It's worth mentioning. We actually were honored to have an executive producer in the studio today with us, Executive Frost. I'm not really sure if he's going to censor me from talking about this stuff. If he does, I'll move on.
Yeah, you have direct eye contact with Executive Frost. He's lurking behind my back. So I need to.
He's actually drooling on your shoulder. You should probably wipe that off.
I'm too afraid to look behind me.
He's giving me the thumbs up right now, though, so I'm going to keep going with the Freemasons. This is kind of a weird religious, mysterious cult.
I did a very small bit of reading on Freemasons. Just what was brought up in interviews, and basically they were like a frat. It was like a frat house.
Yeah,
kind
but
of.
they're culty. They're a little culty. They have like initiations that they do, and they've got chants, and they have beliefs, and they're so intertwined with like weird fictional sciences, mystery, and this kind of weird neo-spirituality. It's kind of hard to just say they're a frat. But you're right. They're made up of just this group of white dudes in power. And the reason why I want to talk about this, Walt Disney was a Freemason.
The conspiracy runs deep with this one.
And actually around the time, there's a post-war era.
2004?
Executive Frost didn't like that one. He didn't like that one.
He's shaking his head.
Yeah. So Walt Disney was a Mason in the post-war era. There's an estimated at least 500 members in one particular California branch at the time. 500 members. And it's estimated that 95% of those members were top-tier entertainment
Gurus?
I don't want to say gurus, but gurus, I guess.
Entertainment folks.
Yeah. Some of the founding fathers, quote unquote, of the entertainment business.
Very interesting. But the sense I get from the whole notion of the Freemasons is that, like you said, a bunch of rich white guys who made a club, and because they were powerful, they were able to maintain power. Yeah,
because they institutionalized that power and allowed other people who wanted to get into the industry, they had to go through the Freemasons first and foremost. It almost became a union thing.
Jerry Bruckheimer, is he a Freemason?
The thing that I find really interesting about the production of National Treasure, both 1 and 2, is how much they're hinged on Bruckheimer's involvement in the film. He was the one that got them the initial large budget for such a fucking crazy premise of a movie.
Yeah, Jerry's an interesting guy. He started out in advertising, actually. He was interested in photography at a young age. He loved film. Once he left his advertising job, he started producing movies. So like I said, he started working with Paul Schrader very early on. He produced 2 of his movies, American Gigolo and Cat People.
Okay.
And then he got this reputation as Mr. Blockbuster. That's kind of his nickname.
Yeah.
Because he just produced so many hits in the 90s and the O's and even to today. Let me just kind of list off.
Because he's a crucial member of the success of this film.
Oh yeah. Well, first off, he produced Thief, which is a movie that I love quite a bit. Michael Mann's first movie.
Yeah.
He made, and I'll just list off a bunch: Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun, Bad Boys, The Rock, Con Air, Armageddon, Remember the Titans, Pirates of the Caribbean, National Treasure, The Lone Ranger, and he's got Bad Boys 3 in production, Top Gun Maverick, Beverly Hills Cop 4. So at this point, he's kind of just regurgitating.
Yeah, but
stuff.
That's impressive.
It's an impressive resume. He also produced CSI and The Amazing Race, among other wildly successful television shows.
These are genre-defining films that this guy is really the brain behind.
100%. He helped define the 90s action genre, and he also helped shape what television is today with CSI and all those spinoffs in particular.
So I'm going to posit this, and we can refer back to it as we talk a little bit more about the film.
Okay.
Jerry Bruckheimer, key member of the production of this film.
Yep.
Riley Poole's character. The movie would not have succeeded thematically without Riley Poole.
Legendary character actor Justin Bartha.
Number 3, without Sean Bean's management skills, this film would have never come into production.
You just made me spit out my tea.
And all those are points that I really want to dive back into later on.
The writing process for this movie is another crazy story. There was the idea for this movie back in the late 90s.
There was an idea.
I was worried that we would talk about Marvel movies on this podcast, so I want to...
No, let's keep going. The executive's giving us a no-go. We don't have the licensing to talk about Marvel.
Oh, good. I'm very happy.
In fact, I think we are legally required to pay out $2 million just by naming their business. So let's just call it MCU and move on.
In about 1999, John Turteltaub was developing this concept based on this idea by Oren Aviv and Charles Cigars, which had kind of been floating around for a couple years. So it was an original idea. And then by the early 2000s, the project was relocated to Touchstone Pictures, which at that point is a subsidiary of Disney. So there's Disney, which does all like the kids' movies and the family movies. Touchstone is an offshoot that does more like mature and darker movies.
Sure.
But also more live action. Because I guess Disney is like, they would do the 101 Dalmatians, they would do Parent Trap, stuff like that. National Treasure is a little more intense than that.
It's a little less fictitious.
Yes.
It's not fantasy.
Well,
it's real. The Freemasons are real, Nathan.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
Wait. Hold on one second. I just found a Freemason logo on the bottom of my laptop.
That was such a bad bit. I can't believe you did that. Talk about being angry. That makes me so angry. You just lifted up your laptop and said you found a Freemason sticker on the bottom. What was the logo on the sticker?
Well, it's the two axes and there's a little pin in the middle.
Right.
Yeah. Don't forget, I've seen National Treasure 1 and 2 both at least 3 times in the span of the past 2 weeks.
Fair enough.
I know that. I know this shit.
So different writers came onto this project, and I think the final ones were Cormac and Marianne Wibberley. So they finally cracked this script because this was a script that had been, floating around for a while, but they couldn't quite nail it down because really, when you think about it, this is kind of a hard script to write.
Sure. So they had to invent the clues and the treasure and all of those integral parts of the story out of, as near as they could, actual factual iconography of the American patriotic lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's a really difficult thing to craft like a puzzle, like a series of puzzles and clues that you have to follow. Mm-hmm. The difficulty is making the puzzles challenging, but also solvable.
Sure.
So you kind of have to reverse engineer them. Interestingly enough, in an interview with the Wibberleys, they were asked what the most difficult part of writing the script was, and they said that the scene after stealing the Declaration of Independence took 3 weeks to come up with. Actually, they're talking about the one with John Lithgow where they show up at his house. Because elsewhere they talk about how, they've just stolen the Declaration of Independence. How do you one up that scene?
Sure.
Instead of
with sex. You one up it with sex.
With John Lithgow?
No, not with Diane Kruger and Nicolas Cage. They're putting the lemon on the back of the Declaration of Independence.
So you're saying that is a
Of course, it's Disney, Nathan.
What's the timestamp right now?
27:41.
So 27 minutes into the podcast, and you reference sex for the first time. I'm proud of you. That's actually longer than usual.
Yeah, there was a lot of self-control involved with that.
The Executive Frost is giving us just like the weirdest look.
He's not impressed that you're bad-mouthing Diane Kruger.
I'm not bad-mouthing her.
No, you are.
How am I bad-mouthing Diane Kruger?
I don't know. It's just
I'm bad-mouthing you.
I think Frost wants us to talk a little bit more about sex in association with Diane Kruger's character.
Executive Frost is writing me a note. He says Lithgow is not in the movie. Oh, wow. I mean John Voight.
He just called you out on that. That was him.
That's wow. This is something that you usually do, Jacob.
No, because I know John Lithgow by face, but not by name. So I'd never take the step out into the unknown and start referencing him.
There are two.
Listen, buddy. I just spent 2 hours and 4 minutes and 37 seconds intimately having John Voight intimately insert his audio into my ear canal, watching the commentary with him and John Turtletop. I don't want you to start on how you think I don't know who John Voight is. At this point, I might as well be his second estranged child.
I apologize deeply to the two most patriotic Johns in this country being the United States. As I said in the voice of Werner Herzog, there is no truth in podcasting. Thank you once again, Executive Frost. So the cinematography is by Caleb Deschanel, who just this past year was nominated for an Oscar for cinematography.
Zoe Deschanel's his youngest child, right?
He's also doing lighting for The Lion King.
Nice.
Which I'm sure will have come out by the time this airs. I'm excited to see it look like hot trash because it looks very bad.
You really have it out for Lion King. This is the second time it's come up and the second time that you've strongly voiced your hatred.
It looks so bad. Have you seen the trailers for it?
I've seen the trailer for it. It looks like another animated movie.
Why have we not heard Donald Glover's voice yet?
So hold on. You're angry that it looks
like trash.
Like it's animated?
It doesn't look like it's animated. That's part of the problem.
So you're angry because it looks too live action?
Yeah, it's not expressive. It doesn't look interesting. It's got a warthog that looks like a dirty warthog. Who wants to see that?
It's got a dirty warthog play by a dirty warthog.
That's perfect casting, really. Seth Rogen's gonna hit that one out of the park, I think.
Yeah. I can say that because I'm Canadian and so is he.
There have been 2 shots in the trailers so far of like the animal's lips moving, and it just like imagine a whole movie of a lion with its lips moving, singing, "Oh, I just can't wait to be king."
You've obviously never seen Homeward Bound, have you?
In Homeward Bound, their lips don't move.
Exactly. It's just the voices.
Yeah.
If their lips moved, I think it would be more interesting.
I do also want to shout out the production designers who all did a pretty phenomenal job.
Yeah.
There's Norris Spencer, Lawrence Hubbs, Bill Heine, and Mark Hitchler. The production design in this is excellent, especially toward the end when they're going into the catacombs and they're the big like spiral staircase.
Dust.
There's a whole lot of dust.
What happened to dust in Hollywood?
Look, Hollywood at one point said, we don't want dust in here anymore.
They got rid of the dust. They got rid of the cobwebs. When I watch a film, I want to be holding back vomit from the amount of dirt there is on things. I'm so OCD when it comes to if I touch something that's dirty, I have to wash my hands almost immediately. Otherwise, my skin crawls. And like, I want to watch a film and see dust, you know? What happened to the dust?
There's a shot in this movie of John Voight just like with his hand, he's got a coin or something, and he's just like rubbing the dust off, and it's just so grimy. It made me want to wash my hands right then and there.
I love it. I love it so much.
This movie is directed by John Turteltaub.
So is the second one, actually.
So is the second one. I guess this is John Turteltaub's big, like, this is what he's known for. Because he's made some other movies, Cool Runnings, the movie about the Jamaican bobsled team.
I just called it a passion project, but I think Cool Runnings is the passion project.
That must have been the passion project. A white guy was like, I want to make a movie about a Jamaican bobsled team.
Listen, color's not important in this case. In this case, the temperate climate is the really big one. He seems to be a director that celebrates the blockbuster genre because it's almost a genre. It's an aesthetic, and he seems to celebrate it. And in some of the commentaries that I've listened to, he really doesn't take himself too seriously. And I think the risk of being a blockbuster director is when if you take yourself too seriously and you're out there to make a picture that, you know, it's going to stand the test of time, this, that, whatever. You get a film like Independence Day that's like, it's not bad, but it's not really that good.
Yeah.
It's just a blockbuster.
Yeah, I'd say Turteltaub is like a journeyman director.
Yeah,
like he gets hired to do stuff and he does the stuff.
And he does it okay.
Yeah, he's not super distinctive or anything, but he makes okay movies.
Yeah, he's reliable.
And worldwide, his movies have never made less than 100 million. So, I mean, he's decently, like, he's made commercial movies.
Yeah. Do you want to dive into the movie?
Let's talk about the movie. Let's talk about it.
One of my favorite things that National Treasure 1, 2, and assumably 3 all open with is that historical flashback.
Yes.
And it's a really nice tone setter for the film.
You can tell it's a historical flashback because Christopher Plummer is right there.
I love that man.
Christopher Plummer is a beautiful man.
And not only that, he's got such a beautiful voice.
He does. As soon as he shows up, you're like, this is worth looking at.
Can I just, explain to you a little bit of some of the notes that I jotted down real quick while we were watching the flick together?
Sure.
Christopher Plummer, semicolon. Coy boy, question mark?
Coy boy?
He plays a very coy grandfather.
Oh, coy. Okay, I thought you were talking about the fish.
No. So he's kind of guiding his grandson through the process of intrigue into his lineage, into the treasure he will one day steal or find, I guess, through stealing the Declaration of Independence. And the whole time he's being a little bit coy about it. He's like, you want to be a knight?
He's very slick. He like, so the kid's in the attic. He opens up the cool like ladder thing. And then Christopher Plummer like shows up with like a bolt of lightning or something to flash across his face, and he's like, "You're not supposed to be up here."
He establishes kind of the mystery that the film follows. There's some really good motifs in the music, but he also really sets in stone the importance of bloodline.
Yes,
right early in the film, and we know exactly what we're getting into per the tone of the opening sequence. One of the I've mentioned it on several occasions. Some of my favorite flicks have that 15-minute sequence at the beginning where they set the themes up for the rest of the film, and they establish what the film's going to be about. In maybe like a kind of microscopic way, they set up the arc of characters and kind of the journey they're going to be making. And this is one of my favorites because we have Plummer really setting in stone the importance of bloodline. We have this real idea that when Ben Gates, young Ben Gates, takes the oath to become a knight, that he is dedicating himself to kind of like a moral code. And it's fascinating that they never really come back to that later on in the film, but it is a really important moment to kind of set him up into the realization that he has a really good moral compass, and that'll always stay true to what he's called to.
Well, if your grandfather is like Christopher Plummer, then like you've got something to live up to.
Yeah.
And when your father is John Voight, then you know that something skipped a generation.
Yeah, it's true. He plays the sweaty, neurotic father really well.
Yeah, so he tells like,
and he wears a bathrobe a lot.
He does actually.
In 1 and 2 both. I don't know what that is, but he wears the robe a lot.
John Voight just like comes in at the end of the scene and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing up here?" Which is my John Voight voice apparently.
Yeah, and we have that the dichotomy between the father and son.
Yes, we get this indication that Christopher Plummer's character has always been like, this has been part of his heart, this treasure, this lineage, this bloodline, whereas John Voight's character, as we soon come to learn, like he's been let down by it.
The treasure failed him. The treasure of the bloodline, the treasure of the mystery and the history failed him, and he sees their intent to honor that as a naivete.
Yes, because of his own failure. It's a very personal thing for him.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast. It's in my mind, it's a very near biblical proportionate contrast that they're kind of presenting, where this like the failure of the father takes that and it's fixed, but by skipping a generation.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a biblical level. That's giving this movie too much credit.
Well, fair enough, but I just mean in the way that it is a historical theme. That's something we see in a lot of classical literature.
Were you able to follow the history in the opening section? Because I wrote down a few notes about it, but like it's almost completely escaped my mind.
Yeah, and the importance of it's not super important. It's not exposition. It's history, and that's the interesting thing that number one does maybe a lot better than number 2.
For sure.
Is when when there are moments of exposition, they don't come across that way. They come across as history. They come across as important. But that opening animatic is not super important to the rest of the story. Basically, what they're telling is how the Knights Templar in their various conquests were able to collect a series of treasures from different locations and kind of bank them up in one place. And that one place was said to hold the treasures of ancient Egypt and ancient Rome. And
we get this
ancient Greece.
This idea that the Crusades discovered a treasure below Jerusalem, and then like the Crusaders like moved to America basically, and they took the treasure with them and hid it.
The irony of that, of course, being that they weren't adventurers, they were conquerors.
Basically, yeah.
And this is a history told by a fictitious victor. In that, this is completely. This is a completely watered down version of what actually happened per the raping and pillaging and
basically, yeah.
You know,
I think one of the failures of National Treasure is to really dig into like the colonialism of it all.
But I would argue that's not a failure of the film. That's a failure of the kind of patriotic nationalism
that the film brings across.
Yes.
So. I think the movie, if it had someone who questioned, like, because it's National Treasure, the idea is this is an American treasure, it's homegrown, but in reality it's stolen from a bunch of different, like, more interesting cultures.
But we're going to talk about that in National Treasure too. That's something that Turteltaub really corrects in the second film, and he talks about in the commentary. He brings a lot of he tries to take back a lot more importance of the fact that it's not necessarily ours. In the second one, when they're kind of talking about the Native American treasure, he's always very specific to talk about that. It's not American, it's not ours, it's theirs. Which I like. He kind of redeems himself. I feel like he kind of learns from his past failures and mistakes.
Sure.
So from that we cut to.
Okay, so we get this match cut from young Ben Gates to Nicolas Cage, Ben Gates. And he's driving this very good snowmobile. This is a very good snow machine. I love it so much.
It's a very adventurous snowmobile.
And we get just like a whole bunch of random like gibberty gobble.
Sorry? Gibberty gobble?
Gobbledygook.
You just made up a word to in place of another phrase. And that phrase describes the word you made up. What happened to you, Nathan?
Look, today is just an off day.
This is such a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Bring your A game back. What's going on?
I woke up this morning and I said, I'm going to sabotage this.
That's my role. You're forcing me to play your role because you just decide you want to fuck all shit up.
Think of it as like this is like role playing. We're pretending to be each other for one day.
I get the sense this might be payback for some of my previous sins against you, and maybe next is coming back to bite me. You know?
They are hunting treasure. They are in the Arctic.
Yeah. I guess it's the Arctic. It's somewhere with a lot of snow.
It's very cold. They're also wearing Canada Goose jackets.
Yeah, man. Way to set the trend up like 10 years in advance.
Very expensive coats.
Yeah.
And they're looking for Charlotte. So the first clue, I guess, comes from the dollar bill that his grandfather showed him.
Sure.
And it has to do with Charlotte. I don't quite remember. The clues in this movie are like very like, they're a little obscure. Very free association.
Sure. Right off the top, we're already kind of setting up the difference between the contrast between Sean Bean and Nicolas Cage. Sean Bean's in white, Nicolas Cage is in black. He's a little crazier. You know, Sean Bean's acting is usually a little bit more close to the cuff. It's a little bit more reserved. And, you know, I like them both. I like that there is a sense of kinship right off the bat and almost a repertoire between the two. The way they're kind of bouncing ideas off each other and they're talking about the treasure. And when they come up to the location where Charlotte's buried, they both immediately know it's underground and they got to dig for it. So they
Yeah.
start to dig.
I mean, it's a pretty like, oh, there it is.
Yep.
This is kind of the vibe we get.
Time to get into it. But what we haven't necessarily given enough time to really think about that.
Yeah.
We're just right into the ship. And I don't mind that. You know, you gotta sacrifice time where you can to just get the audience where it needs to be.
This movie has good pacing.
Yeah,
Like, it's sometimes it's a little like, oh, they just suddenly find something.
You know
but
what
it
doesn't
keeps it
have
moving.
good pacing? Us.
Us? Yeah, we have terrible pacing. Not the film Us by Jordan Peele. That has some pretty rock solid pacing.
You just proved my point. But you got a thumbs up from Frost, so I think you're saving.
It takes them
grace.
it takes them like 2 minutes to excavate to excavate the ship. Like you would assume in the Arctic, maybe the sun is staying up all the time.
What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to discern how long it takes them to excavate this boat because we get no indication.
That non sequitur is just like, why?
Because if they're in the Arctic,
It's not important.
no. If they're in the Arctic and if it is winter, then they're not going to have any light.
Hey, plot twist. Yes, there are seasons, but in the Arctic, doesn't look that much difference.
Okay,
Doesn't look that much different.
Okay. They excavate the boat. It takes them 2 seconds to excavate the boat.
And that's fine. And
That's
they go
fine.
inside and
They go
they're
inside.
cruising around. It looks suspiciously like the Black Pearl, the cabins and whatnot. It looks suspiciously like that. It would be ingenuitive if Bruckheimer got them the set of the Black Pearl in order to use for this and just kind of covered it in white snow.
Jerry went on the phone and said, hey, Gore, you got a boat for me? I'm shooting a movie with Cage.
So they're poking around. We got cannons. We got barrels of black gunpowder. We see Sean Bean scoops up a nice handful.
And it looks like he just licks a little bit. Of it.
He goes to smell. He's like, gunpowder. And it's like,
Gunpowder.
yeah, of course, it's black powder. What else is it going to be? Sean Bean pours it out of his hand. We see Riley Poole, who we saw in the tractor ATV tank. The snow plow earlier, who made some funny remarks, and he's poking around, and pretty quickly we see Nick Cage investigating some dead bodies.
Oh yeah, there's some good skeletons.
National Treasure really walks the line of Disney's PG rating.
I think you're a little wrong there. I don't think seeing dead bodies is like walking the line. I don't think that's like.
No, but this is a wrinkly dead body with the eye socket shriveled up, and hands that are having to be plied off of a box, which when opened up is a ivory pipe.
Yes, an excellent pipe.
Oh, it's a beautiful looking pipe.
Look, I'm not a smoker. I've never had tobacco. I wouldn't mind having a pipe with that pipe.
If you have a pipe, you will implode. Either that, or you'll just transform into a cardigan and spend the rest of your life somehow more interesting than you are right now.
Take this as you will, but I would puff that pipe.
Nick takes a knife to his thumb, but not before.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And that one's, again, walking the line. Takes the knife, gets a little bit of blood, spreads it. I like the ingenuity there. It's like, I got no ink. What am I going to do?
Okay, tell me about the ingenuity of finding an old relic and like, I'm just going to bleed all over this. How about
that's ingenuity.
Look, I know this is a movie you can quibble with, but he picks up a relic. He
bleeds over it.
He cuts his thumb and he sticks his thumb on this old pipe.
Like the pipe is an antique and you just bleeding all over it.
He's putting his cut on an old pipe.
Oh, you're talking about disease.
He could get some like mono or something from that pipe.
Hepatitis B or something.
He could pick something up real fast. So also not to mention the fact that this is a piece of archaeology. It's
Do you want to take another try at that word?
This is an archaeological find. This is a piece of history, and he just picks it up and shoves his blood on it.
It's in my mind, it's kind of like, hey, just a reminder, this ain't Indiana Jones, folks. Let me bleed all over this pipe real quick.
Except for the fact that this is basically Indiana Jones.
It's basically Indiana Jones, but he's more of a nerd. He's more honest. He's not
true.
Like some kind of buff, sexy teacher professor.
That's right.
Like, that person doesn't exist. This is also, I would posit, is kind of the first formal introduction to the role that Riley plays in the film. Riley Poole, aka
Justin Bartha is the actor.
His performance is really great in the movie.
It's okay.
It's funny. It's funny. He's kind of Shakespearean in the way he's throwing out jokes here and then and kind of breaking up the action. But this is the important part of my point. He's one of the three key figures I mentioned earlier. We already talked about Bruckheimer. We'll talk about Bean later on.
Yeah.
Poole is written to be a conduit for the audience understanding, and also it validates their skepticism towards the actions that they take. And by validating it, it kind of furthers it kind of affirms the action that they take.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, no, you know what, you're right. Like they pick up the pipe. Someone asks, what is it? And Riley's like, is it a $2 million pipe? And like, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, what else are you going to think at the time? Like, it's a pipe. And these kind of little points thrown in here and there, these comments made by Riley, kind of, they just keep up the pacing with the audience to say like, yeah, no, like, that's kind of what I was thinking. That's funny. We relate to him. And then later on, when we're forced to tag along with them as they steal the Declaration of Independence, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Riley's inherent skepticism, and then him being won over by Nick, we get the same feeling. And we never question that because Riley's that conduit for our empathy.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about his character is that he's the complete opposite of how Nicolas Cage is playing Ben Gates.
Yeah, yeah.
Because say what you will about Cage, and I know that our executive Frost isn't the biggest fan of the Cage, but he commits. He is so authentic and sincere in his performances.
Yeah, he's a straight man.
And he is part of the reason why this movie works. Because if you had someone who was a little more of an action star, they would probably be winking a little bit at the camera. Nicolas Cage,
it would be campy.
Yeah.
Because he's playing a nerd.
Right, but Cage doesn't wink at all in this movie. There's no winking. It's completely sincere, straight down the line. Whereas Riley is the character who can be like, what? National treasure?
Yeah.
Like a treasure that's national?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then we get the first great Cage moment where we see that dichotomy between the two characters where where Cage is like, it's a riddle. I need to decode it. I need to think. And then he just walks around, and then Riley's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we get Cage, and he's like, Andrew Lincoln.
He's playing 6 Degrees with himself. He's playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon on himself. He's connecting this pipe to Charlotte to a steel pen. I like that we kind of established that the goons are stuck in their own thing. And like the one goon is like, it's prison, as if to say, I've been in prison. I know it's prison. And then we come back to Cage. No, it's not prison. It's like, oh, well, fuck me, I guess.
The riddle goes like, the legend writ, the stain affected, the key in silence undetected, 55 in iron pen, Mr. Matlack can't offend. And then he's just like, the legend, the stain, what legend? There's a legend of the Templars, and then the stain, blah, blah. And he's just like going all over the map, and everyone's like, Sean Bean, even he's like, you know what?
Let him do his thing. Yeah. But that's also part of their back and forth, right? Their dynamic is that Sean Bean gets the Nicolas Cage thing. Not as good as Riley Poole.
Yeah.
But there is a kinship there, and there's a mutual respect.
Eventually, Nicolas Cage is like, it's a map.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it's on the Declaration of Independence. So
so quick. It's so quick.
It takes him less than a minute to get from this bloody pipe that he just rubbed his hepatitis on to the Declaration of Independence.
And just stop and think about this for a second. We're not even 25 minutes into the film.
No.
And we've already got mapped out like the rest of the movie, where we've been told, all right, he's going to steal the Declaration of Independence. That's the next thing. And now we know the rest of the movie is going to be working up to that and then dealing with the consequences of those actions. And yeah, the trailer gives us that. Like, we go into the theater knowing that he has to steal the Declaration of Independence. But for that to be the main selling feature of the film and to just give it to the audience so early on, to me, is mind-boggling that they still managed to make it work.
Yeah, I've said this a few times. I will say it again. It's insane that they were like, we're going to make a movie where Nicolas Cage is a history nerd who decides to steal the Declaration of Independence and pours lemon juice on it. Like, who heard that idea and was like, yeah, that's a good script.
Nicolas Cage was an ancient Roman history buff, though.
That's true. That's true. In an interview, he says that he wasn't huge on American history until he kind of got into this movie and did some research, but he loved Roman history, among other things.
And Roman history is full of a lot of mystery and intrigue.
Sean Bean is like, well, I guess we got to steal the Declaration of Independence. And of course, Ben Gates is very much, he's the patriot. He's the guy who's so reverent of American history and of American iconography. He's like, no, we can't steal it. Like, that's stupid. And Sean Bean is just like, nah, let's steal it.
He kind of alludes to this dark past that he's had, and he kind of alludes to the fact that he's more than just a treasure hunter. He's also kind of a mercenary almost.
Yeah, he says figure. I tried to steal the ring.
And it doesn't surprise us as his main man Sean, aptly named, is standing behind him, a very shadowy figure, as they talk about the kind of shady business that that's the part of the job that they could take care of on Gates's behalf. Just kind of saying, we'll absolve you because we know you're the moral compass of the team. We'll take that for ourselves. You don't have to worry about that. We'll get it and then we'll put it back and it's going to be okay. And Gates is like, no, we can't do that. It's interesting how the film kind of throws out moral absolutism and then very quickly has to contradict itself, has to work its way back.
Yeah, because the plot of this movie is we're going to steal the Declaration of Independence. No, you can't do that.
Do that.
Well, we're still going to steal it.
Well, I guess I have to now.
Basically,
damn it. I know I'm going to do it better than you, so
basically.
Shit.
So Sean Bean has guns.
He's got guns. Theory number 2 of this film. This movie would have stood up better if it didn't have any guns.
I don't fully agree or disagree with you.
The violence, that makes sense. But you don't actually have to show firearms to show that violence, that violent nature. You don't have to show firearms. But I guess guns are an important part of American culture. So.
That's very true. That's part of the national treasure.
Hey.
I don't think it's the having guns that's an issue. I think that
it's the using of guns.
Kind of. As soon as you have a character with a gun, there is this threat that they can shoot and kill someone. But especially with these characters, they seem to have the ability to shoot and kill someone, and yet they're really bad with their guns, which is one of those like kids action movie things with guns.
Sure.
It's like shoot, but they always miss.
There's no risk. Yeah, that's a way to kind of desensitize you to the risk of firearms.
Yeah, and of course we get kind of the joke of Riley hiding behind some like cords that are hanging to hide from the guns. Ben Gates picks up, like he has a flare. He's going to light the entire gunpowder room, on fire and make it explode.
And then he does. He's holding the torch.
Yeah, we see this literal divide between the two of them. Like the friendship has been broken. There's no going back now.
And both understands the other. That's the problem. It's an impasse not because one is threatening another with something. It's an impasse because they both know the other can't come with.
Yeah.
And Sean Bean's reaction seems a little extreme at first, but he knows Ben better than us. Mm-hmm. And you realize that, like, yeah, this is the only conclusion that would have made sense.
And it's kind of interesting because it's a very American thing. It's like a very idealistic separation between the two.
Sure.
And America has so many schisms in it, like political schisms especially.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a reflection of America as a nation in a way.
It is, and I
even though Sean Bean, is British, and this movie is basically like British are bad.
yeah, and that's another thing that I think Turtle Top corrects in number 2. But and I think with that, Nick becomes the most relatable figure in that any American, regardless of their background, ethnicity, race, blah blah blah, can relate to him as the absolutist in this moment where he's taking a stand for what he believes, for what he was taught. Papa Plumber taught him, made him a knight. He's got to commit to that. So
he is. He's a Knight of the Templar.
So he's dropping that flare, and he does.
He drops the flare,
and then they run into the vault,
and he destroys. An archaeological find.
A massive So again, this ain't Indiana Jones, baby.
Look, Indiana Jones is another colonialist.
You can eat my ass.
No, thank you.
Something I really like about Bruckheimer is his dedication to practical effects.
Yes.
And that's one of the biggest selling features for 1 and 2 both is his dedication to that. And the first practical effect, we get the nice big boom of Charlotte.
The behind the scenes stuff for National Treasure has a little bit on the explosion. It's such a good explosion.
It's such a good explosion. And really tasteful uses of slow motion.
Yes. They escape somehow. Sean Bean and his gang take the snowmobile. So I guess that Riley and Ben just like walk.
he mentions that there is a like a snow base, an
Right,
Arctic
okay.
base, a few kilometers over, and so they have to walk there. Sir Nick Cage, Sir Benjamin Gates,
Sir Ben.
has to honor his calling as a
Yes.
knight, and he goes to the government to say, "Listen, you got to do something about this." And
He goes to Bush.
yeah. George Bush.
Okay.
No, so he goes to the FBI and he says someone's going to steal the Declaration
Yeah.
of Independence. And of course, again, we empathize with where this story takes them because, they have to do the right thing. But of course, the FBI is going to be like, yeah, all right, bud, whatever.
Yeah, because apparently they get 10,000 tips a week,
Sure.
which I wonder if that's real.
Oh, I'm sure that, honestly, I would not be surprised.
That is a lot. Like, think of how many tips that is.
Think of how many people there is in America.
That's more than 1,000 tips a day.
There's more than 1,000 people in America. So it's not hard to believe.
So they meet Diane Kruger.
Oh man,
More-
if I talk about her too much, it's going to be a pretty greasy. The episode's going to turn way greasier than it is already, and I don't want to put anyone up to that.
Executive Frost is raising his eyebrows more like Diane Cougar.
So
You're welcome.
that's why we hired the executive.
Her name is Abigail Chase. And she's kind of German.
Pennsylvania Dutch, Saxon German. She's an archivist.
Yeah, they go to her and because they want to go straight to the source to be like, something bad's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to her and say, look, someone's going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
And we need you to do something about it. And she says, all right, boys. There's, there's nothing I'm going to do about it, basically. And again, it's all about building that empathy to the action of stealing the Declaration of Independence. There has to be no other option available for us to believe.
Yeah, and we get a few nice moments in this scene.
There's some really good dialogue. There's some really good chemistry between the two. It's a really good camera work in my mind. Again, just making a conversation work better. The way the camera switches between him and her, and then Riley hits him with a couple comments. But the way she's framed between the two, you already get this sense that, not even a sense, for a fact she's going to be the third party member.
Yeah, I think you're giving Turtletop a little too much credit in this
I think
scene.
you're the last person that should be critiquing me on my behavior in this episode.
There's the moment where she has the pins from Washington's campaign or something.
Coins.
The coins.
You idiot. They're coins.
Look at the same thing.
No, they're not the same thing.
So then he just starts reciting the Declaration of Independence to her for no reason.
And he's a fucking nerd, so I guess. Like, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, sure. I guess.
So they go to the Lincoln Memorial, and I think there's a good framing here with Lincoln in the background. I think that's one of the few good directorial moments in the movie.
Yep. He's on their side. They got the president. The president is on their side.
So then Riley's like, so what are we going to do? And Nicolas Cage is like, I guess we're going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
And Riley's like, no, we're not going to do that. That's stupid. It's not going to work.
Then Nicolas Cage is like, our fathers built this country.
And Riley's like, no, you're an idiot. This isn't going to work. We're going to go to prison for the rest of our life. This is stupid. This is the point to what I'm talking about, where everything accumulates to this one key decision.
Yeah, we have to build up to this fact. No one's going to believe them.
Yep.
They have no choice but to jump in and steal it first.
And this whole time, Riley's been on the side of this isn't going to work. We have to give it to the people who can do it. And we're empathizing with him. We're just watching Nick do whatever. And that's when they flip the tables on us in a really decisive moment where Nick says, all right, this is what we're going to do. And us being on Riley's side, both kind of come to terms at the same time. Like, damn, that's actually a really fucking good plan.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fucking airtight plan. That's good.
Their plan is presented as like, look, okay.
Ocean's 11.
Let me just lay out all my cards here.
You do the best you can, my dude.
I am a sucker for a heist movie.
Oh, yeah.
I love Ocean's 11. I love Ocean's 12. I haven't seen Ocean's 13. Look, I even like Ocean's 8, even though it's a bad movie, because it's a heist movie. I even liked Avengers Endgame because it was a heist movie.
At least you're dedicated to liking heist.
It's not even
films.
like dedication to a bit. I just like a good heist. I like them laying out like, here's what we have to do, and then them doing it, and then it going wrong, because that's always the sequence. I fall for it every single time.
Sure, we're thinking we're met with the same kind of justification that the story is presenting. It's like, this isn't the right way to do it. This is really, it's all we got left. It's the last option. It's the last string, and it's a pretty fucking airtight plan. Good on you, Ben Gates.
Yeah, and this whole sequence is done with not very much dialogue. It's all pretty visual.
It's good stuff.
So we see stuff like the preservation room. We know that if the container it's in gets too hot, it's going to be brought down to be checked. We see Cage heating up some lasagna in his microwave, which is very good.
I love that sense of like he's alone.
Yeah.
And he's not doing great living his life. He's not very capable at living his life as a single adult. I'm sorry. I have heated lasagna all the time too. That was rude of me to say.
Looks like someone else is in the hot seat right now. Riley makes a very funny joke about the preservation room being for jams and jellies.
Yep.
Which I thought, that's funny.
He makes a lot of funny jokes.
One comment on Cage's performance. He does this thing where when he's thinking, he like rubs his like the side of his head, like his temple-ish area with his finger.
Yep.
Just like slowly up and down as someone's talking to him. It's I don't even know, like it's a choice. It's a choice to do that. I don't know what the choice is founded in, but it's a choice, and he made the choice.
As they're setting up their kind of quote unquote tech, you know, we have a nice little montage of Riley setting up his tech with that same kind of electric EDM pulsating music, and then Ben Gates is setting up his kind of espionage, like invisible ink on the coin. We're gonna give the coin to the girl, that kind of thing. He's got the classical cues, and then at the same time we have Sean Bean and the gang setting up their very simple plan, which really just involves C4, and that's when we get the sense of risk. If this plan goes wrong, what's at stake?
Yeah, because this reminds me of the moment in Mission Impossible Fallout. It's the moment where Angela Bassett is like, you use a scalpel, I prefer to use a hammer, which is the Henry Cavill character. Yeah. So Nick Cage is very much the scalpel. He's like setting up this very intricate plan, and Sean Bean's like, we got explosives.
Sure, but the other side to that is that if Nick Cage had gone with C4, how fucking stupid that would be. You're talking about using explosives to get the Declaration of Independence, which is a very damageable document.
And we don't even get the full extent of Sean Bean's plan. Like,
no, we just see loading of guns.
We just see guns and explosives.
Yeah, and kidnapping, and that's it.
So it's kind of a simple way to delineate the two, but it's very much like...
And it further reinforces Nick's plan being the right one and the only viable option they have.
It's an attempt to be like, he's a moral character.
C4 is bad.
And Ian Howe isn't a moral character.
Yeah.
He also sends Abigail the missing coin.
The missing coin. Insinuating that he's the link in her life that she's been missing, and maybe in a lot of ways her to him.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, man, that's textbook How to Get the Girl. You go into her office, check out her coin collection, send her the one coin she's missing,
covered in invisible ink so that you can
get her fingerprint
to break into her workplace afterwards.
It's foolproof.
Do you think? I'm surprised she didn't get fired.
Yeah.
It was her thumbprint.
That's true.
And afterwards she winds up marrying the guy who broke in to steal the Declaration. And no one at no point does anyone question her like status as a good citizen or even as a good employee. She's a bad employee. You know. All right, we're gonna talk about management for a quick second.
Okay, let's do it. Let's skip the heist.
Because the heist goes well.
Yeah. Well, long story short, there's a gala. There's always a gala. They steal it.
The gala is alluded to by a pamphlet in Diane's office.
Yeah. So we get to see a taste of Sean Bean's, as you put it, his management style during the heist.
Eloquently.
Tell me your hot take
Ian Howe, aka Sean Bean, he's a good manager. All right. He takes responsibility for the actions of his men. He's always open to take criticism and applies it to his planning. He's responsible for any actions that go wrong, and he's accountable for them, and he accepts them. He accepts the punishment for any kind of wrongdoing and failure. And he's really good at task delegation. He's like the best fucking character in blockbusters ever. He's such a good manager.
Wow. Forget the shark and Jaws. We're going straight for Sean Bean and National
He's
Treasure.
so good because he's such a genuine guy. He knows all of his all of the mercs that are working with him. He knows everyone's name.
Okay, here's the counterpoint, and I feel qualified to talk about this because
You literally have no qualification. Your behavior today has been subpar.
Okay.
Say what you will.
I manage in a movie
Oh
theater.
my goodness.
I'm not a manager. I am, but I manage in a movie theater. Sean Bean is not a good manager.
Why not?
He gets one of his employees killed.
So he dies on his own. It's just that's the risk of the job. And he accepts that. Everyone knows what they're going into when they're fucking loading bullets into magazines.
He uses bullets. He uses guns.
So?
He's gonna blow up something. We
so
don't know
that's
what.
his job. He's a mercenary and / treasure hunter.
It's a stupid. You're such a stupid argument.
No, it's not. It's
Yes.
in the context of the employment.
Okay. He does not.
Does Executive Frost agree with me?
He does-
All right. He's a good manager. All right.
He does not have a
Task
single
delegation.
original
He's-
idea.
What are you talking? What does that have to do with anything?
How did he rise to the top? He probably shot someone.
Maybe he seems ambitious.
He's a murderer.
He's the first one to not say "fuck that plan of stealing the Declaration of Independence." Nick,
when he
doesn't. Riley's like, "That's bullshit," and Sean Bean's like, "You know, this could work."
No,
He's ambitious.
When Sean Bean and Nicolas Cage are in the boat, they have a big disagreement. Instead of working on conflict resolution, Sean Bean pulls out a gun. He's like, "Look, I'm going to shoot you instead."
Yeah, because he knows the limits that both characters are working with.
They are co-managers. They are both managers.
Yeah, they're co-managers, but at some point, a separation might have to occur in order for both parties to get more done as independent groups. Sean Bean's party has risen to a level of power that Cage, not being a good manager, can't account for. Cage is just doing everything. His team isn't doing shit. He doesn't learn until the second film to like how to actually properly encourage certain good behaviors out of the people working underneath him. Also, I'm sure HR hasn't approved his relationship with Diane Kruger. You know, I'm pretty sure that's not with HR standards. Sean Bean ain't out here kissing any of the guys he's working with.
You don't know that.
Sean Bean didn't kidnap anyone.
Well,
But not until the end of the film.
he did. He does kidnap several people.
Yeah, at the end of the film.
Yeah.
He just tases them and shoots them and but he doesn't kidnap.
Whoa.
He doesn't kidnap
Like a good
anyone.
manager.
He doesn't kidnap anyone.
Look, if your manager was like, "We're gonna go and use a bunch of guns to blow up people," would you be like, "Okay, sure"?
A good manager inspires action and good work ethic from the people underneath him, from his subordinates.
Okay, here's my
Is
biggest.
Sean Bean inspiring?
No,
Is Sean Bean
no,
inspiring?
No.
Fuck you.
Here's my biggest issue
With the film or with the management?
with you.
Okay.
It's all about motive. Why does someone want to be a manager? If someone wants to be a manager for
He doesn't want to be a manager.
Shut your
He's
gob.
in a position of
Shut
he's
your
in a
gob.
position of leadership and he's working with what he has to work with.
If someone wants to be a manager, their motive should be pure. For example,
So you're a moral absolutist. You're Nicolas Cage.
No. Let me explain. Sean Bean's motive to be the manager of this group is he wants the treasure. Nicolas Cage's motive is he wants to put it in a museum, basically.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage isn't paying his employees.
Yes, he does.
He does less than, was it 2? What is it? Exact 2%? How much does Riley get at the end? He gets the Ferrari.
He gets a
Was
Ferrari.
it 2%?
He has a freaking Ferrari.
Yeah, what's a Ferrari?
Look at the mansion that he gets.
Look at the mansion that Nick gets. He takes that all for himself.
Riley gets a book deal. Who do you think that they actually? You think they paid him to write that book?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're proving my point. Riley got jack shit, even though he probably contributed more than Nicolas Cage technologically. He invested a lot of his own personal resources. You know, for a fact, that didn't go on the company credit card. That was all him.
Do you want to know the main reason why Sean Bean is a bad manager?
Do you want to know how I got these scars?
Because he doesn't end up with the treasure. Boom. Boom. Roasted. Get out of here. Oh.
That's a stupid point to make.
I think Executive Frost is holding guns to the back of our heads. He's telling us to stop talking about this.
So Nicolas Cage is flirting with Diane Kruger.
Yeah. Riley's like, is that hot girl over his over his earpiece?
Quite literally. And you get the sense that he's playing the con man character again. You know, we're at this point we're very acquainted with that character from Next.
Yes.
So this feels all very familiar.
He's chugging champagne.
He just wants to get rid of the cup so he can use the fingerprint on it.
No.
So he just chugs it right there, and everyone's looking back thinking like, whoa, this guy's not he's not a historian. When in reality, he is a historian. He's just a man of the people.
He's not a historian.
He's a man of the people.
He's a treasure hunter.
No, he's a historian.
No, he's not.
No, because the whole time the film is like trying to work through that contradiction of, are you a treasure hunter if you're trying to preserve and explore the history of your nation? And the answer is no, that doesn't make you a treasure hunter. The treasure hunter is looking for their own gain. He wants to find the treasure for everyone.
Nationaltreasure.fandom.com defines him as an American treasure hunter and cryptologist.
Fuck you.
Thank you.
Diane Kruger's into him. There's chemistry. There's
Yeah.
immediate chemistry. Meanwhile, he's in the bathroom stall with condom and thumbprint on condom.
I'm pretty sure it's not a condom.
I'm pretty sure it's a condom. You've never seen a condom before. We're getting the real tangible science at work.
He's hiding in the bathroom.
He's hiding in the, no, that's number 2. He's hiding in their delivery truck on this one in the street. Man, you're a wreck today. So Nick manages to get the Declaration of Independence from the processing room.
Yeah, but as with all great heists, it goes wrong.
It goes wrong because we know that Sean Bean the whole time is getting closer and closer and closer. So as Nick Nick's just taking his time, we know Sean Bean is on his way, and they finally have that conflict happen in the hallway.
Yep.
He pulls the gun on him, and that's the moment when Ian and Ben's relationship is dead and gone. It's not Sean the sidekick pulling the gun. It's Ian pulling the gun and firing like 5 shots. He empties the clip or something like that.
And Nicolas Cage is holding like this big glass case,
which is genius because of course it's going to be bulletproof. You know, that's pretty genius
Sure.
as a shield. Although it's risky, you know, that's the Declaration of
He's
Independence.
just like, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't know. I feel like he would put himself before the Declaration.
I don't know. So he gets in the elevator and he goes up. I guess Sean and the guys don't want to take the stairs.
I don't know.
Like there's always a set of stairs to take. You couldn't just run up the stairs.
They skipped leg day.
I don't know. And he manages to get the Declaration out.
He manhandles it with his oily fingers.
Yeah, he really does. And then he puts in a nice little plastic condom holder.
It's a bag.
And then when he gets into the elevator, we spot Diane Kruger. Plot twist.
Yes.
Again.
Yes, this
the risk, because she knows shit's up.
This was the most relatable moment in the entire movie. He's going down the hall. He looks over to his right. He sees Abigail. He's like, nope, ducks down the side hall. I've done that at school when I saw a teacher that I knocked out with a baseball. I was walking down the hall. I saw him approaching. I did a quick 180.
Sorry, you didn't. You have to explain now because everyone thinks you assaulted someone.
Oh goodness. Okay. In grade 12, when I
No. Let's go all the way back.
All the way back.
You're a non-athletic man.
Look, you don't have to call me.
You
out
weigh
like
how
that.
much? 80 pounds?
1.5 times that. So in grade 9, I dropped out of gym for very complicated reasons. I took it in grade 12. Very fun.
Because you had to get the credit back.
Because I had to get the credit for high school. We were playing baseball, and I hit the baseball.
Sorry. Your classmates were playing baseball.
We were
you were present.
I was.
And
Look,
participation is a generous word.
you don't have to drag me this hard. I was up to bat.
I do. I'm getting the nod from Executive Frost.
Executive Frost is loving this. So I was up to bat. I hit a few foul balls. My gym teacher moved in closer. I hit it straight down the line, right into his face, hit the glasses he was wearing. He dropped like a stone, didn't fall unconscious. Anyway, I ran to the office to let someone know something was going on. I've never talked to this teacher again.
So when you saw him in the hallway, you got the cold sweats and had to run the other way.
Yeah, I saw him at the end of the hall.
True.
So I took a long way around to avoid him.
True.
So that's why this moment is relatable.
It's relatable, but there wasn't a sexual tension between you and the teacher, as far as I'm aware. But
I
there
sure
was a
hope
big
not.
one between Nick and Diane Kruger. So when he turns and runs,
And ducks into the gift shop.
he ducks into the gift shop unknowingly. And I don't know why a gift shop would be running during a 70th anniversary thing.
It's kind of weird. I guess
seems
they
a
want to
little
make
odd.
their merch revenue.
Yeah, but you're not going to make it with a bunch of
Yeah.
high class white
It's
collar
like Bill
donors.
Gates. Bill Gates goes to this little gift shop. He's like, I'm going to buy this $35 Declaration
It's
replica.
$35. That's crazy.
It's a pretty steep markup. It
And
must cost.
his reaction is like, "Damn, that's expensive." And the lady's like,
And he's
"Well,
got
it's
like
my job.
he's got $32 cash, and then she's like, "We take Visa."
We take Visa, sir." It's a great moment. It kind of puts us back into reality.
Yeah, and it's funny because it looks like he's trying to steal it.
Yeah, it genuinely does.
It sets up the twist though, because he's just like as soon as he buys it, he scurries out. He walks to the van. Diane Kruger is hot on his tail.
Big time, hot on his heels.
He gets to the van. She's like, "Excuse me, did you just steal the Declaration of Independence?" And he's like, "No."
I think she realizes how crazy that sounds.
Yeah, but she's like, "No, give me that back."
Every time someone says you steal and Declaration of Independence in the same phrase, I get like kind of a gleeful smile because I just find it so funny.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Yeah, that's the
It's so
movie.
much fun. Thank you,
Thank
Jerry
you.
Jerry Bruckheimer.
Thank you, Jerry and
You blessed
John
us.
and John and Nicholas. The bad guy, Sean Bean and Sean. Sean and Sean Bean show up though in their own special van, and they try to steal it, but they just like drag Diane Kruger away.
Yeah, because it's one or the other, right? She's now Nick has the poster.
Yeah.
She wants it. She doesn't know which is which. We don't know which is which.
Yeah,
we don't know what happened.
We
with
don't
the
know at this
poster.
point that there's been the big
So
switcheroo.
she grabs something. We assume it's the Declaration of Independence, the real one. And then Sean and Sean come around in a food truck with that's got all the other mercs in it, and grab her. She's holding the poster, so she gets dragged away with what we understand to be the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
And that's when the hot pursuit starts.
Yes, Sean Bean is like, just take her because she's holding on to it so tight.
Yeah.
And then
all right, so he does kidnap someone. I'm sorry, I lied earlier.
you did. He's a bad manager.
Yeah.
And
No.
so this the car chase is good. It's fine.
It's a truck chase.
Yeah, it's a pretty good chase.
Yeah, it's good music.
Two interesting notes. One, they had the struggle making it look like a fast car chase because they were using like a catering truck that didn't go super fast. So they had to do some like camera workarounds to make it look like it was faster than it was.
Sure.
Second note, there's a stunt in here, a very good stunt, where Abigail is hanging onto a swinging the back door of the catering truck.
Yep.
So there was a stunt double for some of that, but Diane Kruger also did some of her own stunts for that.
Amazing.
So in the behind the scenes featurette, she talks about how she thought she was like pretty fit before this, but she was like, I should have gone to the gym maybe a little more.
She's a national treasure.
And after shooting that sequence, she went on like a week's vacation just to like recharge from doing that.
Nice.
So, good chase, but
Good on her.
It ends with like her swinging into the car, and she's
Yeah.
like, but the Declaration.
Yeah, Nick gets her back.
That's
As
when
they
we-
drive away,
yeah, and-
we cut back to Sean with what we understand to be
Yeah.
the Declaration.
We get the big switcheroo.
He pulls it off and we reveal it's a poster, $35.
$35.
Sean gets hit with the bill. Very good joke.
So we have a little scene. This one kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
It's a little uncomfortable.
It gets fixed a bit later on, but it
Yeah.
still feels kind of misogynistic,
Yeah.
where she's like, "God, guys, what are you doing?" And they're like,
Won't someone just tell her to shut up?
Yeah, because they've already established the morality behind their decision, and we get that. She's just kind of at this point being treated like an unnecessary contradiction,
"Yeah,
because she's saying all the same things that they've already kind of processed through. And they're not treating her. They're not treating her very politely, and it's a little uncomfortable. The sexual tension is definitely there.
Oh yeah,
You know?
this is where like the whole romance thing really starts to develop, and I think Turtletop and writers and all are going for like a screwball kind of feel.
Like he's kind of playing the hard to get one almost.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like
All the classic 40s screwball comedies have that dynamic where the guy's like, this woman, and the woman is like very verbose and talkative and strong-willed.
Sure, this is kind of like a a Bogart.
And a Katharine Hepburn kind of deal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it just doesn't work quite.
Yeah, it's a little. It hasn't aged well.
Then we get introduced to Peter Sadusky, played by the legendary Harvey Keitel.
This guy's really cool.
He's amazing. I'm glad that Harvey Keitel got paid, I hope, a lot of money to be in this movie.
He reminds me of what's his face? Murder on a Train.
Oh, Kenneth Branagh.
He reminds me of Kenneth Branagh from Murder on a Train. He's got the mustache. He's got everything.
He's like the New York Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah. I love him.
So he's playing like a real New Yorker in Washington D.C. I guess.
He's the one that, as he's investigating the Gates family, we really get a sense of like how this family has a reputation.
Yeah.
And how they're kind of crazy, and so now we're coming to kind of grasp why Gates is doing what he's doing, because he's trying to redeem his family name in some regard. Then we head to New York,
We
meet John Voight. Finally.
We finally meet John Voight.
Sweaty, neurotic John. We go to a big old house. We open the door.
The idea
And we meet the
is
father.
we've had these big physical stakes, like a lot of shooting and a chase sequence. Now we're hitting the real emotional stakes.
Sure. And they need a place with Gates's home being ransacked by the FBI.
Yeah.
They need a safe place to investigate the DOI.
I mean, I feel like the second place the FBI would go is his dad's house.
And that is exactly what they do, but only after Nick and Diane get a chance to investigate the back of it. So the scene plays out pretty easily. It's pretty smooth.
Yeah,
they walk in. There's a short conversation with the dad about kind of the family and his failures as a quote unquote treasure hunter. I'm not going to admit that Ben is a treasure hunter quite yet. They're talking about who's involved with the team and whatnot, and Riley pipes up and says, I volunteered.
And then John Voight is like,
unvolunteer yourself and get the hell out. He's speaking from experience. And we empathize with him.
Yeah, this is the part where we really get to see, we understand now that he spent so much of his life looking for this treasure, and his failure to find it, he feels like it's kind of displacing his feeling of failure onto the hunt itself.
Sure. And it's not a bad theme to kind of throw forward, this idea of the potential risk of failure, but it's not really one that Turtletop investigates at all.
No.
Really. He never gives the breadth to that, where I feel like there's a genuine risk. Like if they check for the ink and there's nothing there, they're fucked.
Yeah.
And that's not really investigated, and that's maybe kind of the flaw of this scene, and maybe one possible, maybe a wrinkle they could have smoothed over in a different way, but that's fine, whatever. They take it, they lay it out.
Yeah, and they're like, there's a map on the back.
Yeah, so the first thing to do, obviously, they grab the lemons, they grab the Q-tips, when life hits you with lemons, grab Diane Keaton and see what kind of shit you can start up, I guess. And they set it. They got a nice little set. They got the gloves. They're professionals.
Oh, yeah.
They know what they're doing.
This is
John
the funny
Voight
thing.
walks past with a box of day-old pizza or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you guys looking for? They're like, invisible map. It's on a piece of old paper. He's like, in that case, toss in the oven. You'll see your shit. And at this point, we're like, I don't know what the fuck that means.
And this is the funniest thing. They're using gloves. They're handling it with care. And when the idea of putting in the oven is introduced, they're like,
whoa,
no.
whoa, buddy.
But when it's like lemon juice, they're like, yes,
Citric
yes,
acid.
let's dump some lemon juice on this puppy and see what happens. Yeah,
the lemons are wild. They're so
very wet.
laissez-faire with that. but they give it a shot with the Q-tip and they put it down. Nothing appears. And then we see John Voight again, and he's like, "You see, you need the heat or whatever." And that's when they're like, "Oh."
And they both simultaneously lean down.
Yeah,
and so they find a series of numbers on the back.
It's a ledger.
Yeah, I don't
Something like
I don't
that.
remember what it is.
I don't know how that shit works.
Ben Gates does this thing where he's like, "Oh, it's this," and he figures it out. I'm pretty sure his dad, John Voight, helps him. He throws in like, maybe it's this, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, John Voight wants to, jump in on this."
Yep. And then he finally does when he grabs and lifts up the Declaration of Independence, realizes it, and that's when we get the first look at like how at John Voight's neurosis.
Yes. So they find the numbers. They figure out where they have to go.
So before they leave, they got to figure what they're going to do with Papa, and of course, there's really only one thing you can do with your crazy treasure hunting dad. You got to duct tape them down.
Got to tie 'em up
with the pizza and the drink in hand.
Yeah, well, except for when the FBI arrives, John Voight's like, "Want some pizza?"
Yeah, it's a good gag.
It's
It's a good gag.
So they go to I don't know.
So they're at the Urban Outfitters. They're getting changed side by side.
Oh yeah, you get that straight on shot, seeing both of them, and
Nick has some very hairy legs.
thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. It was that or something about Diane Kruger, and that just felt uncomfortable.
Well, the whole change room setup looks really uncomfortable to me, but I'm not familiar with that type of setup.
Disney, man, just the way they just allude.
They love to just like push the envelope a little bit. They like to slide it.
It's not the envelope. It's they're pushing they're trying to map out where that line exists. You know?
Well, they want to jumpstart kids into the next stage of
I
puberty.
guess it's just I don't know. It's just weird. Like for a PG movie, and we're dealing with adult subjects. Like why not just have them have sex and give it like an R-rated as opposed to, I don't know. It's not a family movie, I guess.
I don't know why you.
It's just like
made
why
that
make that tension exist in the first place so heatedly?
I agree with you on that point.
Because like what else are they gonna do?
And while they are in the change room, Riley is at some kind of like library or something.
It's a museum. I don't know.
A museum. He's running, and he's got this kid running in and out, bringing clues to him, solving the puzzle. Meanwhile, Sean Bean is showing up, and he sees the kid. He's like, "Oh, like it's a kid running." But then Sean Bean sees the kid come back in. He's like, "That's kind of suspicious."
Yeah.
Then he sees him solving a clue, and he's like,
Something's going on here. This kid's crosswording this letter.
So then Riley goes away, and then Sean Bean's like, "Hey kid, what were the last digits, letters that you gave him?" And the kid's like, "Oh, this," and basically gives away the rest of the chase for them.
He gives him $100 bill though.
That's true. Sean Bean does pay very well. I will agree with that. Sean Bean does pay very well. I would work for him only for the pay. Only for the pay.
That's reparations. We get a little bit more of storytelling from Nick as Diane Kruger and him finish up their transaction at Urban Outfitters or wherever they are.
Yeah, they solved the puzzle. It's on the Liberty Bell.
It was in front of them the whole time. It was on a paper bill.
So they remember that the Liberty Bell was moved over somewhere, and then Riley's like, I know the time shift thing. You know, the hour difference on the clock hands. And then they're like, "Yeah, okay, you did one thing in this movie."
He did more than one thing.
He made a bunch of jokes. He hid behind wires from a gun. He did one thing.
And he's channeling the audience to help you connect with the story and thematic elements.
Yeah, it would be a really uncomfortable movie if it was just Nicolas Cage and Diane Kruger. It would be too next for my tastes.
Oh, man.
So anyway, they find the Liberty Bell. They go up. And interesting behind the scenes note, this is a place where tourists aren't allowed to go. So it was kind of a privilege for them to be able to film in that location because
that stepping over the sign was a legitimate like
John Turteltaub was like, go on, when they know we're shooting a movie, they'll let us go.
They told us we weren't allowed to shoot in Mulholland Drive. They're in Philadelphia.
That's true. They follow the shadow of the bell to this like brick, and behind the brick there's a set of glasses.
That's where you put glasses where you don't want to forget them, you know?
Yeah. And then right after this, we have a foot chase through Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't dislike this foot chase.
I do. I dislike
I think it's kind of lackluster.
There's I don't understand where the risk is, and the fact that they separate, like...
Yeah, Nick.
It's the only purpose it serves is to separate Nick
from the rest of them.
And Riley and
Yeah,
Diane.
they say they have to separate the glasses and the declaration because it's like having the lock and the key. If they separate them, then Sean Bean won't be able to get the treasure. It creates a necessity to keep them alive, essentially.
It's a forgetful scene. It reminded me
It
a
is.
lot of Next, how there's a lot of action and cutting back and forth between
Yeah.
these two parties that are simultaneously running from something, but you lose all sense of direction and you lose all sense of almost purpose, where you just, what was the point of this in the first place, you know?
Yeah, there's the funny moment though where Cage is splitting off. He's like, "Take care of her," and then they both say, "I will" at the same time, which it's funny. It's funny.
I think Turtle Top's trying to make up for the earlier scene in the garden in front of the Parliament.
So they're doing the chase. There's one great moment in this chase which I thought subverted my expectations. It's where one of the henchmen sees Ben walking down the path. A bus crosses in front of him, and there's the classic thing where a bus crosses in front of someone and then they disappear, and it's like, oh, where'd they go? This time the bus crosses, you just see Cage sprinting down the walkway.
Sprint, man.
It's hilarious.
He's a good sprinter.
He is a great runner.
There's got to be a story behind there somewhere.
His running is so funny in this sequence. Like it's not a Tom Cruise level where he's just like head back, arms flailing everywhere, but he's just so tall and like his proportions are a little off, so it just looks weird when he runs.
He performs a killer gravestone leap too. When
He does.
When one of the mercs, what did he say? His name was Phil. It pulls out a gun and starts shooting at him, and he does a nice little leap over the gravestone.
There's Shaw, there's Powell, and I think Shippen. I think those are the three. There's also a Phil.
Phil's the one in the grave. There's a nice scene at the roof where Nick comes in contact with Phil. Finally, Phil's cornered him on the roof.
Yeah,
and he says, in such a like Phil knows him because they worked. They were on the same team for a long time. So Phil's just like, enough, man. Give me the document. Like, document? It's the fucking Declaration of Independence, you idiot.
It's not just a piece of paper.
And Nick's response is, all right, Phil. And then just tosses it, almost falls off the roof. Again, Declaration of Independence, people. It ends up being empty, so it's okay.
Long story short, the two bozos are caught, but Cage gets away, but he gets caught by Sadusky, by Harvey Keitel, because you can't run from the Keitel.
And the two bozos, as you so eloquently put it, they drop the real Declaration of Independence basically into Sean Bean's arms. So Sean just lets him go. Again, like, good manager. He doesn't need them.
Yeah, and
that's just another risk.
And Cage has the glasses because as one of them states, the ocular device.
We cut to the FBI office, and there's this nice little. It's very dark.
It's way too dark.
Noir.
It's as if the FBI didn't pay their lighting bills for the month.
It feels like a weird, almost like limbo. Like Nick is coming to terms with a decision he made, a sacrifice that he put his life on the line for these other two people, and now there's going to be a decision made whether or not he can transcend and achieve his higher calling and go up, or he's going to be locked up forever and pay the penalty and go down.
Right. And during that conversation, Harvey Keitel, amazing actor, delivers
one of the few notes that I took down in this movie. There are two doors, Mr. Gates. Door number 1, you go to prison for a very long time. Door number 2, we get the Declaration of Independence back, but you still go to prison for a very long time.
And then Cage is like, is there door number 3?
Someone's got to go to prison, Mr. Gates.
So
it's such a good line. Someone's got to go to prison.
It's really funny.
Take me to prison. Get me into hell. Someone, please.
Wow.
Sadusky's the best.
Jacob's soul has just exited his body.
As he's doing that, he's flicking the little ocular device thing.
Yep.
And we realize, holy shit, we only saw one image on the back of the Declaration. There could be more.
The total idiots didn't even think to look at the multiple lenses on the glasses.
Yeah, there's like 7 lenses and they don't even care. There's so many lenses.
So they get a phone call. It's Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean wants those glasses. He's
reaching out.
He's reaching out.
some would say that's a good move if you were a manager to reach out to the opposite party.
I'm not going to engage with this line of fire anymore. The FBI, Harvey Keitel's a good manager. The FBI is like, okay, we'll make a deal. We're going to try and capture this guy if you are the bait. There's a line about the fishing line and the bait.
Because someone's got to go to jail.
Because someone has to go to jail. So, but Sean Bean is also saying it can only be you. No police, no FBI, nothing. Meanwhile, we cut to the dock where he's supposed to go at the Statue of Liberty.
All police.
And there's FBI helicopters everywhere.
Such a contradiction. I don't get it.
So he's on the phone with Sean Bean and he's like, look, you can help the FBI or we can, work together, find it, whatever.
And Gates is reunited once again in a moment of radio frequency interruption. He's reunited once again with his former cohorts and employees, assumably, where they tell him, you know what, you gotta get away from this guy, figure it out, jump off the end of the boat or whatever. And so he does a good dive.
He pencil dives into the water.
Yeah, because he's a diver. He says so in Urban Outfitters because he's got the diving watch, and we know he's got some kind of like deep sea diving degree or I don't know, whatever certificate. It's impressive.
So he gets
he gets wet.
He gets very wet. And then his scuba diver brings him somewhere. They go into a taxi. He's sandwiched by two henchmen on either side.
Which he knows both. So that's got to be a little awkward.
They've also stolen John Voight. They've kidnapped him from his house.
He's a cuck. That's what I wrote down. Papa's a cuck.
Papa is a cuck.
Everyone meets up at the church.
They've solved this clue. I don't remember what it is. Who cares?
That they got to meet up at this particular address at this church.
And they all just sit down.
It's a church. It's penitence.
But it's just like...
It's penitence. It's respect.
They walk into the church.
It's patriotism.
They walk into the church. They're walking down the aisle. And they just sit down. Like, there's no like, hey, which row are you going to take? It's just like, they all just decide, matter-of-factly, like, we're going to sit down. I just found it funny. It's just a weird...
What do you do when you're in church, man? I don't know. What do you want from me?
So while they're all sitting down... the John Voight has the great line because they find, like, they're trying to figure out where the treasure is now. John Voight's like, it's just another clue. Then Nicolas Cage like, Dad. Because John Voight is just pooping all over it.
It's true. He's a pooper. And he's got a line, something about the status quo. Like when it comes time for a decision to be made, you're going to be sacrificed,
right? Because
of this status quo.
Yeah.
You're the one in risk, no matter what cards you hold, because at the end of the day, they have the people you love, and they'll sacrifice you the minute that they can to get the treasure that they want. There's a little walled cemetery in the back of the church, and they knock it open. There's another dead body. There's lots of dead bodies, lots of dust.
A lot of good production design.
And they climb through it.
Yes.
Riley Poole's disgusted, and then we see a nice, massive vat, just a fucking hole in the ground as they make their descent to the dark night of the soul.
Right before that, though, we have that moment where Diane Kruger and Nick Cage just like make out. It's like the hero's moment where the hero like thinks he's going to die, so he's like kisses the girl. But it's just so funny here, just the way it plays out. Then the Russian guy, the henchman, as he goes through after, he's like, "Why does that never happen to me?" It's just a funny line.
I don't even know if he's Russian, to be honest with you.
They get to the big like cylinder, like the big hole, which has the staircase going down around the edges.
It's the descent to the dark night of the soul. What did I say? It's a metaphor. It's symbolic.
There's a lot of good platforming action here that happens.
Sure.
Sean Bean's like, John Voight.
There's a lot of dust.
First.
There's a lot of dust too.
Very dusty. So John Voight is like forced to go first. And then things just start breaking down. I think it's pretty well staged, and the production design, once again, very nice. It culminates in a moment where Diane Kruger is holding on to the elevator platform, which is on a diagonal.
Yeah.
And Nick Cage he can either rescue the Declaration of Independence or Diane Kruger.
And so he opts to swing the platform closer so she drops only a little bit so that he can then grab the Declaration of Independence.
He lets go of her.
And save America.
Right. He saves America in that moment. What a national treasure Nick Cage is.
And then at the bottom, as they both, land and collect each other. Riley's standing there saying, I would have dropped you both.
Yeah, he's a legend in that moment.
Yeah, he's awesome. The audience agrees. Oh yeah, Sean 2 dies.
Sean 2 dies right near the beginning of this sequence. Sean Bean kind of goes like, "Oh, sad," and just carries on.
I mean, he assessed the situation pretty accurately. It was pretty sad. And we find the pre-treasure room. We've got the light hanging from the ceiling. Nick lights the torches as he goes in, and it's an empty room.
I'd have to say, those torches are so good.
They're pretty.
I love
sexy.
the spiral torches.
I love a good torch, and I love some dust, and I love some cobwebs, and I love a scene where the two characters have to confront each other with words.
They think this is the treasure room, and Cage is like, "It's gone. It's not here anymore."
He has a nice little meltdown.
Yeah, this is his, like, if we're counting freak out moments, this would be his freak out moment in the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's just like, it's not here anymore. And Sean Bean's like, "Oh, what? Like what? We came all this way for nothing?"
Yeah.
John Voight redeems himself. Great moment.
Definitely. He uses the neurosis to his advantage.
Yes, he's like,
time.
"Oh, wait a minute." And he just goes on
It's
like,
a clue. It's another clue.
"It's another clue."
Whoa!
So he rambles about how, like, some other place, like, and this is very much the way that Cage does it, in like that sense. Like he goes on this weird tangent of a bunch of historical stuff. And
yeah, it's the one by land, two by sea.
Right.
John Voight relates the hanging lantern to that classic story.
And so he says that the treasure's in Boston.
Yeah.
So Sean Bean's like, "Sweet, let's get out of here."
Yep. And so at gunpoint, he and Powell, I guess, the last remaining merc, I think, they go back up the hand cranked elevator while everyone else is stuck in the room. And that's when we realize John Voight was playing them this whole motherfucking time.
Oh snap!
Oh damn! So someone's wandering around with the torch.
Yep.
And they find a little imprint on a wall. And
Yes.
they realize that pipe you found at the very beginning with the blood on it, this sticky pipe with the blood on it now, hepatitis pipe, that pipe is what's going to get you into the treasure this whole time. You needed the pipe from the beginning.
And John Voight has the pipe.
Sean Bean don't have the pipe. He wouldn't have been able to find the treasure anyways.
They do find out the secret entrance, and they open up the secret entrance.
And they start looking around, and it opens up to another empty room, which is at this point you're kind of like, all right, how many more rooms are you going to open up? Like what's going, how many door number 3s are we going to be given? There's a lot of dust. I'll tell you that much. It's probably important dust.
So much dust.
And Nick has another moment, like a much purer form of like actual desperation. The meltdown's real this time. And that he's like,
oh yeah,
the treasure's gone. It was here at one point.
Sorry.
We can tell it was here.
This is the moment where he goes, "It's gone."
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of heartbreaking. And the worst part is that the character who's more or less been speaking against the treasure hunting, the principles of the treasure hunting this whole time, John Voight, at that last scene finally realizes, maybe there's a chance. We're here, we found it, and then they open that door. It's empty, and he has to come back to terms of that, like, journey through grief that he did at whatever point in his previous treasure hunting years he journeyed through, which was, it was never here in the first place. It was always gone. And this kind of failure, you still found where it was. You still found proof that it existed at one point, and that's got to be enough for you because it's not here anymore. There's a moment where, like, all right, what's going on? That's, we are screwed. And that's when you realize Dark Night of the Soul wasn't actually the Dark Night of the Soul.
That is correct.
Because this whole time they knew that there had to be another room, because there had to be a way out of the construction that they built.
That's right. The secret exit of this room. So this is where they find the treasure.
What a twist.
This is where National Treasure, the title, just comes into full fruition. And I just have to stop for 1 second. We're talking about National Treasure. And I don't mean to belabor things very much, but your birthday was pretty recent. We got you a National Treasure.
Oh, no.
We have a live on mic opening of a gift. This is
Your definition of live is kind of problematic if you think this is.
This is some national treasure opening.
Oh, it's a Kellogg's box.
It's Kellogg's.
Open it with my pen real quick. I like the masking tape, taping up the cardboard box. Is this napkins?
Yes.
Canadian napkins?
Executive Frost wrapped it in napkins that have Canada 150 on them.
Oh, I love it.
Apparently he used a lot of tape.
Yeah, there's a lot of tape, but I admire making it stick. There's a lot of sticky glue that holds the country together.
You're gonna need some lemon juice to finish it all off.
Oh, there's more inside. Thank you with the smiley face. Wait, why is there a thank you?
It's a clue.
Priority mail? Damn, there's a lot of wrapping on this. What is it? It's so heavy. I love it. This is so fucking awesome.
It's a Nicolas Cage prayer candle.
This is amazing. This is so cool.
It doesn't smell.
It doesn't smell at all.
I found that disappointing.
I didn't know that candles couldn't smell. This is a Nicolas Cage prayer candle. He's holding the two fingers up to show to represent a blessing. He's grasping the cross on his chest, and he's got a halo around his head, aptly so because he is one of the saints.
He is. And we were looking and we thought, you know what? What better way to commemorate national treasure than this gift?
This is such a fucking awesome. This is so awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Talk about a national treasure, eh?
Oh, that's going on my desk. I love it. Light it on fire. Maybe do a little prayer behind it. You know, I love it.
Do 5 hail cages.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, guys. You know, once I burn up all the wax inside, it might be a little small, but I could probably fit my dick in this.
Oh, I had a feeling we were going somewhere that we didn't want to go.
So we found the treasure.
We found the treasure.
The treasure.
The treasure.
And they light the torches. It's one of my favoriteest
Yep.
torch lightings that's ever occurred.
It's both
in
practical
history.
and effect shot.
Yeah, it's a nice marriage of the two.
Let's just get the ending out of the way. It's just a bunch of wrap-ups. Sadusky's in the church. Cage pops out. Sadusky's like, yeah, I'm one of you guys too, right? I'm treasure hunter, you know.
No, it's not that he's a treasure hunter. He's a Freemason.
Right, yeah.
We get a close-up of
his
the
ring.
ring on the finger, and we realize this whole time maybe he was trying to help Nick.
Yeah. And
save the treasure from the bad boys.
And then somebody's got to go to prison.
Somebody's. I can't even do the accent anymore. Somebody's got to go to prison.
That's pretty good. Cage is like, he's over, at that church in Boston.
He's at Boston. We got the address, man.
So they catch him. There's that great shot where Sean Bean just like sees he's being caught, slowly puts his hand up.
He resigns himself to his failures.
Yes,
and
does.
Owns up to them.
I guess they take some of the treasure though. I don't quite understand how this works.
So my understanding of how the whole system works, right? As a treasure hunter, you find that, and you basically decide whether you want to sell it to museums, because museums can buy stuff just like an art house can like buy the art, or you give it to them, and then it's up to them to. I think they can award you with like a finding.
Oh, like a
grant
finder's fee kind of
fee or whatever.
Okay.
So they were going to give him 10% of the value of the treasure.
Which it's a huge treasure.
Oh, it's
giant.
It's massive. It's a huge room.
I read in some kind of article or something that like a treasure this big would just break the economy.
Oh yeah. Because the riches. Oh yeah, that would be interesting, eh?
Insane.
And so he doesn't take 10%. He just opts for 5%.
He's got a mansion at the end.
He doesn't even take the 10%. Instead, he gets a mansion. He's got Diane Kruger. She looks wonderful. A nice lawn. For some reason, the driveway isn't paved. I don't get that.
Yeah.
It's not very luxurious.
Yeah, we have that scene at the end where Riley comes up. He's like, "Hey, you got a lot more than me did." Yeah. And he's driving like a sports car, a Ferrari.
And I think it was during this scene at the end that Frost pointed out.
Executive Frost made a very good comment.
Lady in the streets, freak in the bed. No matter how many times I say that, like, why didn't you say sheets? Why did you say bed? Fuck. Yeah.
That was so funny.
Listen, this movie is fantastic because not only do we find a physical treasure and that's kind of we find a justification for the belief in a country of people who respect that history. And it's kind of that treasure is just a justification for his moral absolutism, even though he ends up going back on it by stealing the Declaration of Independence. But also it's kind of like a reward for love and appreciation and respect you have for your country.
It makes me think of the moment in Black Klansman where what's his name? The police officer played by John David Washington says, "With the right white man, you can do anything." And in this case,
that white man is Jerry Bruckheimer.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jerry.
So as all good movies end, this one ends with the main characters going inside
to fuck.
Basically, that's how
they're
the
not
movie
even gonna
ends.
make love. He hands her a map to her room.
That's right.
But they bought the house together. Don't you think he'd know where her room was?
Hey, you gotta.
Do you think she wants to have sex in like a closet?
She's a treasure hunter. So of course,
Look.
True.
They're very into dust, is all I'm saying. But yeah, it ends like Ready Player One.
Ends like Indiana Jones.
That too.
He got the girl.
But unlike North by Northwest, for example, it doesn't end on like a visual double entendre. It's just like map to your room. Oh,
Yeah.
crane up.
Because they're kids.
Yeah,
It's for that one's for the kids.
yeah. There is like a 12-year age gap between Kruger and Cage.
Mm.
But whatever.
That's not important.
Yeah, that's it. That's the movie. There is an alternate ending that I saw on the DVD.
It's not an alternate ending. It just ends differently.
Yeah, it's
An
alternate.
alternate ending would be
That's
if
true.
like they never found the treasure and Nick and Diane Kruger have pity sex in the treasure room. That'd be really dusty.
With John Voight watching, of course.
Because he's a cuck.
But in this alternate, quote unquote, alternate ending, they're in some kind of like museum or something, and they're looking at an artifact, and they're like, "Hey, what about the City of Gold, huh?" That's basically it. It's like,
Oh, that's so bad.
then they walk out and the camera cranes up to see Washington, D.C.
That's so bad.
It's an obvious sequel setup. And as noted in the commentaries, Bruckheimer, Turteltaub, they didn't expect this to be like a gigantic hit like it was.
huge.
And they also didn't expect there to be a sequel.
But the fact that they had already been working on a sequel up to that point, like 7 years in the making was the script for
the
two.
f-
That's crazy.
The ending is a little kind of like
Corny.
wish
It's a
fulfillment.
little
It's corny, but it fits with the rest of the movie. It's the same
Sure.
kind of tone.
Sure.
And so that's the movie. But I think, like I said, the reason why this movie works, because Roger Ebert had a great point in his review. The very last line, "National Treasure is so silly that the Monty Python version could use the same screenplay line for line."
Oh, 100%.
100%. It's just Nick Cage sells every moment that he's on screen with such sincerity
And
that
he's
you
on screen a lot.
He's on screen a lot. You have no choice but to believe what he's saying.
Yeah, I agree. And they make some really good choices about, literalizing your feelings toward your skepticism.
Yeah.
And then projecting that back to you and saying like, no, like we get it, but
Yeah, that's the funny thing about the movie. It's that it's such a ridiculous movie, and the movie itself knows that this whole premise is insane.
Yeah.
And in an interview with Nick Cage, Nick even mentioned to Turteltaub when they met about the movie, he was like, "This doesn't seem very plausible," and he's wondering how can this actually be pulled off. And the obvious answer is it can't. It's not plausible. Like, no one's going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Sure.
But Nicolas Cage is one who wants to chase after that role that challenges him. And even though this is like an action adventure blockbuster, it is a challenging role because he has to sell that sincerity.
Yeah. And it's so much visually, there's so much that you can kind of see coming from films like Next, and even Nick's performance and the kind of small bits of outfit changes and the quick cuts as he's moving away from people looking for him and stuff like that that seem to kind of correlate to stuff like that, but it feels so much more natural and it feels like it's done right. He doesn't come across arrogantly. He doesn't come across as this guy who knows better than everyone else. He comes across as goofy. He's a geek. He's a history nerd.
Yeah, yeah. When was the last time that there was a huge blockbuster that was about a nerd?
Indiana Jones,
Exactly.
arguably.
That's yeah, that's it.
And Ready Player One.
Is it possible? I just
And Amazing
considered.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I
And
guess.
Spider-Man into the
Okay,
Spider-Verse.
but
and Spider-Man Homecoming.
I was wondering though, because The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, very good movie, comes out 4 years later
Yeah,
in 2008.
controversially good, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Great opening act.
Sure.
10 out of 10.
Sure.
I love the fridge. The nuclear. Anyway, let's not get into that. I love that movie.
That's a whole other story.
I wonder if that movie was put into production or if it was fast tracked because of the success of National Treasure. Because it feels like there was the Indiana Jones movies in the 80s and then it didn't happen again until 07 or 08 rather. So I wonder if National Treasure was a bit of a catalyst for that to actually be like, well, this movie can do well in this modern age.
I think that was more Harrison Ford finally giving into it as long as they made this script.
Right.
But like it was a Spielberg project, was it not?
Yeah, he
Spielberg
directed
made it. And
yeah.
at first both of them said they weren't going to do it. And then both gave into it on like as long as like I'll do this as long as he's also in the movie. And it just so happened that they both gave into it at the same time. I think Harrison Ford was looking for another blockbuster to kind of set him off for some other projects that he involved himself with. Because later on in the next couple of years, he was doing some smaller budget films that, you know, kind of seemed in contrast to the rest of his career. So
Yeah.
Age of Adeline, stuff like that.
True.
He was
true.
great in that.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
But that's Blake Lively, right?
Yeah.
She's a good actress.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
it was a fun time.
You know what
It was
she's
good
really good in? A Simple Favor.
fun. I thought you were going to say Green Lantern.
No, I haven't seen Green Lantern.
Is A Simple Favor good?
It's okay.
Okay.
When it came out, a lot of critics were like, "Hey, this movie's actually good."
The trailer looks like trash.
That's the thing. The trailer
Shazam?
looked terrible.
I watched Shazam the other day. The trailer was shit. It looked like a CW trailer.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah,
watched the movie. Good movie.
Good movie.
Good movie. Like definitively good movie.
Okay. Zachary Levi, however you pronounce it in Yiddish, he's one of those people that I don't really see as like an actor.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't really act in this movie. He just goofs.
Right.
But that's why it works is because it's a kid in an adult body.
I guess.
The whole time you remind yourself that it's not an adult, it kind of justifies it, you know? That's
Yeah.
where we're option.
National Treasure. Thanks for listening to Cut the Chit Chat. We hope you've gleaned something from our historically accurate discussion of National Treasure. Feel free to rate and review our podcast and subscribe for your weekly dose of Cage. You can follow us on Twitter at CTCCPod, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on National Treasure. Email us at ctccpod@gmail.com. Next time, we'll be talking about National Treasure Book of Secrets, the sequel. And we will once again ask the immortal question, why is Nicolas Cage?
What do you say we cut the chit chat? A-hole!
Someone light a candle. I'm swampy as fuck right now.